What's up, guys? Here for the week 3 review. Power went out at my job today, so get to make the video a little bit sooner since we all got sent home. Without further ado, let's get into it. Obviously, we had the big injury to Christian McCaffrey this week, and there will be no massive, running to the waiver wire to get Chuba Hubbard because he is already on Casey's team. So the big waiver wire target for this week is already rostered, so there goes a little bit of the excitement we could experience early tomorrow afternoon. Looking at the matchups here, we have my matchup here versus Josh. Josh won this one 103-71. Obviously, he tried to clown my team a little bit this week, talking about lowest score. My team wasn't close to the lowest score ever, as I looked in the record books and gave that information yesterday. But we did have the lowest score for the week. Could have done a little bit better had we made a few lineup changes. Only one of them I'm kind of upset about, playing Murray over Connor, because I had Connor in the lineup all week until Sunday morning and just, I guess, overthought it. But either way, still would have lost the matchup. It is what it is. We'll see how the team performs moving forward. I had a talk with him today. I just said, look, guys, it's just a minor setback for a major comeback. So get ready. Extra week this year in the regular season. I think my team will turn it around here soon. But let's look at the matchup here. Looking at Josh's team. Kyler Murray played all right with 19. Eckler had a nice game with 20. He had Chris Carson who had 15. DJ Moore couldn't find the end zone but killed it. Had 8 catches for 126, 16.5 points. Was open all the time against the Texans. Obviously, I'm upset about it. I have Robbie Anderson, who I thought was going to have a better year, thought would have a good week. I believe he only had 2 targets. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Him and Darnold have played together previously. So I thought, I think a lot of people thought there'd be some chemistry there. I don't know what's going on there, but it just doesn't really seem to be working out. And then nothing else to really speak of in his lineup. All the other guys had single digits. 103 points is nothing amazing, but obviously got the victory. That's what matters at the end of the day. Had Derek Carr on the bench, who played well with 21. Nyheim Hines with 16. He played Zach Pascal. I'm not really sure, why you'd play Pascal and Osborne. Like, you played probably one. But, maybe you throw Hines in there. Obviously, he's got Jacobs out. Will Fuller, it's his first week back from his, I guess, personal issues. So, can't really blame him there. You're not really trying to play somebody there. But either way, you got the win. Looking at my team, Jalen Hurts had just over 20.5 points. Nice to see because my quarterbacks hadn't produced that all fucking season. Obviously, couldn't get the win. I'm glad he also lost his real game in real life because he's playing my Cowboys. And then everybody else on my team pretty much scored single digits. Sermon had 10. Jalen Waddle had 12. Everybody else single digits. Robbie Anderson, 1 catch is ridiculous. Murray didn't find the end zone this week. Had an easy matchup. Should have been able to. Couldn't do it. Lockett finally calmed down, which is I expected in a way, so nothing crazy there. Obviously traded for Robert Woods. Thought he'd have a bigger game than 3 for 33. It is what it is. Wallers, I need him to get double digits every week. 8 points just ain't going to cut it. Rams defense obviously had a tough matchup, but had Connor on the bench with 18. Ayuk with 13. Emmanuel Sanders, who I picked up on waivers this week with 24. Didn't really consider playing him. Was just kind of filling a bench spot in a way, but it is what it is. Obviously, it's a tough week when I'm missing Dalvin Cook, my number 1 pick. I'm missing Deontay Johnson, who I believe I picked in the 5th round. You're missing 2 of your top 5 picks. It's going to be a little difficult to compete, but it is what it is. My guys will get healthy, and we'll be back at it. Up next, we have what would be considered, I guess, the matchup of the week after the fact. We have Dakota versus Derek. And I'm sure you guys know, we talked about it in the chat briefly, but Dakota won 130.52 to 130.42. Now, I'm not exactly sure when stat corrections come out or if there's going to be any in this matchup that could affect it, but If later in the week this changes or it gets a little closer, a little further away, that would be what takes place there. But literally won the matchup by 0.1 points, which is pretty crazy. Dakota had Dak with a nice game, 20. Kamara had 19. Joe Mixon had 10. Jacoby Myers had 9 for 94, so decent game there, 14. Logan Thomas found the end zone, got 10. Was able to play Madison with Cookout, had 20. Huge day out of his Broncos. Defense got him 17. Kicker got him 16. He obviously needed every single one of those to get the victory. So, and I just looking over at Derek's team, I see something that's gonna suck when I talk about it. But nothing really going on the bench here. But a good week out of Dakota. Looking at Derek's team, Josh Allen killed it this week with 37. Melvin Gordon had 15. Metcalf had a big day with 20. Cooks had a nice game with 16. Kelsey with 14. Nothing else really going on there. Looking back at Dakota's team, A.J. Brown, 0.3 points, left the game with a hamstring injury. I'm sure he's probably going to miss a little bit of time there. I don't really see any injuries on Derek's team, but so Derek lost by 0.1 points. Greg Zuerlein, his kicker, missed an extra point, which would have gave him 1 point and would have gave him the victory. So it kind of sucks when you look at it like that, but it is what it is. He had Cousins on the bench who had 25. Obviously played the right quarterback, no question about it, but that's a good bit of points there out of the guy there. Looking here, he played Sterling Shepard, who got hurt with a hamstring. Obviously you can nitpick his lineup and find 0.1 point, I'm sure, but it is what it is. Just tough loss considering it's basically happened in back-to-back weeks for him, but shows his team's competing, and maybe he can motivate them and they can start getting in the win column again. Looking over here, next matchup, we got Casey versus Garrett. Casey won this one 120-90. Casey had Mahomes with 23. Derrick Henry had 18. Javonte Williams had 12. Henry Ruggs had 11. Kareem Hunt had a big day with 25. He did have Sam Darnold on the bench who had 25. Odell Beckham on the bench who had 11, so I'm sure he'll start throwing Odell Beckham out there. Nothing else to really speak of in his lineup. Defense got him -1. Oh, his kicker got him 14. That's a lot of points out of a kicker. Looking over here at Garrett's team, Russell Wilson, not his best game, only had 17 points. Mike Evans had 15. DeAndre Swift had a nice game with 20, but everybody else is in single digits. Obviously, the big news for his team is he lost Christian McCaffrey. My guess is it's going to be a 2 to 3 week time frame because they didn't want to put him on short-term IR, which is 3 weeks. So he'll probably be back 2-3 weeks somewhere in there. They just didn't want to put a timestamp on him definitely being out. Looking at his bench, nothing really going on there. Did have Michael Pittman on the bench with 10 points, but I don't really blame him for benching him. He's got some decent receivers on the team, but I think good lineup choices. It is what it is. Off week for his guys. Obviously I got plenty of experience with that this season so far. Next up, we got Jason versus Garrett number 2. Jason won this matchup. It is 157-128. Looking at Jason's team, Tom Brady had a huge day with 29. Najee Harris had a nice game with 21. Majority of that came on 14 catches for 102 yards, which is quite a bit for a running back. Justin Jefferson with 22. Mike Evans continues to ball out this year with 30. James Robinson had 22 as well. Not really sure why Jason didn't play a defense this week. That's weird. He had the Saints defense on the bench who had 19 points. So I'm not really sure what happened there. Obviously, it didn't make no difference in his matchup. When I originally saw he didn't have a defense, I figured he had Cowboys or Eagles and just didn't want to take a chance on getting too many negative points. But the chance of you getting negative 29 points is highly unlikely. But either way, it worked out for him. Just obviously don't like to see basically an invalid lineup, it looks like. What else has he got here? His kicker got him 16. Obviously, Justin Tucker had the league record 68-yard field goal. Hit the crossbar, went in, won the game. I mean, just pretty epic play there. I'm sure you guys have also seen that Matt Prater, the Cardinals kicker, attempted a 68-yard field goal, was short, and then Jacksonville returned it for a 109-yard touchdown, which ties the record for the longest play in NFL history. Nothing else going on Jason's team. Looking over here at Garrett 2's team, Stafford with a big day with 30. Saquon Barkley finally had a nice game with 18. Devontae Adams a huge day, 12 for 132 and a touch, 25 points. Claypool with 14. Obviously, he got the benefit of Deontay Johnson not being in the lineup. And then Juju left the match early with a rib injury, I believe. George Kittle had a nice game finally with 13 and a half. Nothing else going on there. Did have DJ Chark on the bench who got in the end zone. Brian Edwards on the bench who had 10. Nothing crazy there. Next up, we got Dalton versus Michael. Dalton won this one 126 to 89. Looking at Michael's team, he had Lamar Jackson with 19. Godwin had 16 and a half. Did have a rushing touchdown. Panthers defense got him double digits. Kicker got him 12. Nothing else really going on there. I mean, both running backs were in single digits. Marquise Brown couldn't catch the fucking ball. He probably would have had 2 touchdowns, had his hands worked on Sunday. Robert Tonyan with 1 point. Devin Singletary with 3. All those single digits are going to be really tough to get a victory. On his bench, he had Kirk on the bench, who had 7 for 104 with 14. Hunter Renfrow had 16 points. Jamal Williams with 14 there. So had some points on the bench, but definitely wouldn't have been enough to give him the victory there. Looking over at Dalton's team, it's almost a little surprising that he won his matchup and won it decisively, considering Justin Fields gave him a whopping 4 points at quarterback. Obviously, he made the trade last week, getting rid of his quarterback, so he's got the worst quarterbacks in the league now. It was a tough matchup. I actually thought Fields might play well. I played him in a DFS tournament where, you got to be different to hit big on the money. So I went with a big Chicago lineup, him, Robinson, Mooney. So clearly I didn't win shit. But, if they would have hit, it would have been really nice. Probably low ownership. But it is what it is. But Elliott got him 2 touchdowns, 25 points. Edmonds got him 11. Jamar Chase finds the end zone for the 4th time on the season. Couldn't do shit in the preseason. Said he had difficulty adjusting to the NFL ball, and I think he was just fucking with everybody because now he's got 4 touchdowns on the year and doesn't seem to be an issue. 20 and a half points there. His new pickup, Calvin Ridley, got him 10. Couldn't find the end zone. Tyler Higbee did find the end zone, 12 and a half. Cardinals defense got him 15. Kicker got him 11. And just nothing on the bench, so clearly he made majority of the right lineup plays. Could have got a few more points had he played Lawrence over Fields, but you've been holding Fields, you kind of got to do it. I mean, if I would have traded or had Fields and had Lawrence, I would have done the same damn thing. You play and hope for the best. And then the last matchup we got here, we got Kenny over Matt. This was 139 to 101. And looking over here at just Kenny's team, Daniel Jones with 16 and a half. Aaron Jones with 16 and a half. Gibson had 17. Keenan Allen with 15. Cooper Kupp continues to dominate. Like, there's some special chemistry between him and Stafford, apparently. 9 catches, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mark Andrews cannot find the end zone, but he does get 13 points this week. Cordell Patterson gets 13 points this week. Browns defense with 18. Had Tannehill on the bench with 21. Mecole Hardman found the end zone, had 11. Just his entire lineup played well. Everybody had double digits in the lineup, minus the kicker, who I guess didn't play well, had -1, and Devontae Smith with 4.3. But I don't really have high hopes for Devontae Smith necessarily. So 4 points, it's not horrible. But everybody else just killed it in his lineup for the most part. Quarterback didn't really kill it, but everybody else did very well. Looking over here at Burley's team, went with Rodgers, who had 18 and a half. Obviously, he had Herbert on the bench, who had 31, so played the wrong quarterback again. Again, this is why I don't believe in drafting two high-ranked quarterbacks, because you're going to have that issue. I drafted two quarterbacks myself because I was picking quarterbacks like ranked 12 and 15. Like, I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, it's tough to decide who to play each week, and this is why it's not really, in my opinion, a good decision to have two quarterbacks, because you're going to struggle with who to play, regardless of if they're both studs or if they're both bums. I mean, if you have like, Patrick Mahomes and you back him up with whoever you like, but you're always going to play Mahomes unless he's hurt or on bye. That's different. You're never making that decision, but he's having to constantly make this decision between two at least top 5, top 10 guys every week, and then it's clearly he's making the wrong choice. Obviously we know that after the fact, I would have played Herbert in my opinion. I think he had an easier matchup, but it is what it is. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a nice game, did fumble, had 16 points. Thielen with 14. Tyler Boyd had 12. Cole Beasley with 15. The Bills just passed the ball nonstop. I mean, it's ridiculous. Tim Patrick on the bench with 12. Zach Moss on the bench with 16. Had Darrell Henderson in the lineup, who obviously was ruled out. Trying to get it pulled up now, see when he was ruled out. I mean, so I don't really understand playing Darrell Henderson. You could have thrown in Zach Moss. Could have got you 16 more points. You would have lost regardless. It is what it is. Let's see. It's not letting me pull up the news quickly on it because it's got news from yesterday. But I know he was ruled out at least by Sunday morning because I own him in another league and obviously made the change. I guess it wasn't technically ruled out. Schefter, I think, was like he's unlikely to play. So in that case, if Schefter said he's not likely going to play, he's not going to play. He said the same thing about Cook, and they both didn't play. So you got to make the adjustments accordingly. Clearly, you lost by 38. Wasn't going to make a difference. But it is what it is. We obviously want to try to get valid lineups. Check your things. If you got guys hurt, questionable, whatever it may be, make sure you get that situated. We don't want teams getting easy victories or, guys squeaking into the playoffs because somebody, didn't take their guy out on bye week or the guy was, ruled out and they didn't make the change. Even if it's, late on Sunday morning, I'm probably busier than anybody on the weekends personally. I ref a lot of soccer, between youth and college and semi-professional games. So a lot of times I have games on the weekends, but I have my phone with me at halftime, between games. I'm checking and making sure, I got my guys out, especially if I know I got guys that could be questionable or, whatever it may be, making sure I get those adjustments in accordingly. But it is what it is. Luckily, so far, nothing has been decided because anybody made any mistakes in that realm. So let's just hope that stays the case, and hopefully, obviously, people can get the valid lineups put in. Because I want to say it's probably the third time this season so far that I've noticed that. So hopefully we can get that rectified. But that's all I got for you guys. Like I said, Hubbard's already picked up. Not really sure if there's any really big waiver wire acquisitions available in our league this week, but I'm sure you guys will decide on something. I'll see you guys spend some money tomorrow. But best luck to everybody. I'll have power rankings out here shortly once I put them together, and see you guys next week.